Quick question before we get started with the show. Do you order lab tests from companies like Dutch, DSL, Genova, or Vibrant America? Hi, I'm Dr. Carrie Jones, Head of Medical Education at Rupa Health, the absolute best place to order, manage, track, and get results from 30-plus lab companies all in one place. Practitioners using Rupa Health are saving well over 15 hours of admin time each week for their lab ordering process. With just a few clicks, you can order from 30-plus lab companies, that's over 3,000 tests, for free in one single portal. That means one invoice for all labs, paid online upfront. Plus, patients get practitioner pricing and receive full patient support through easier personalized collection instructions, automated follow-ups, super bills, answers to testing questions, and so much more. Go to rupahealth.com to sign up for your free account today. Now, let's start the show.
Welcome to Redefining Medicine, an intimate and personalized program that illustrates a different side of the practice of medicine. Our in-depth conversations will focus on the physicians and practitioners who are redefining medicine through their integrative, functional, and holistic approach to health and well-being. Our host for Redefining Medicine is Dr. Erica Schwartz. For more than 20 years, Dr. Erica has been at the forefront of advanced patient care, taking the best from conventional and integrative medicine and applying them to prevent disease. Dr. Erica is a distinguished A4M faculty member in disciplines ranging from hormone therapy, peptide therapy, and IV nutritional support.
Welcome to Redefining Medicine. Today, we're redefining medicine with Melissa Stefko. Melissa Stefko just got off the stage speaking about peptides and about what part of peptides? Melissa, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So I was speaking about the regulatory landscape that's currently existing around the peptide community and the movement, I would say, and about compounding pharmacies and how to kind of understand how to pick one and what you can and can't say on your website as a physician, and kind of dove all into that sort of regulatory landscape.
So give us a little more in-depth explanation of those things.
Yeah, so currently peptides is a hot topic in the regulatory arena. So many boards of pharmacy don't really understand the regulation around it, or like last week, FDA came out with a statement about semaglutide, and with all of their roundabout talking, state boards of pharmacy.
What did they try to say?
They were trying to say, we are not aware of any regulation that may or may not say. It just went on and on as a rambling statement. So it was very difficult to follow. So many boards of pharmacy were like, okay, this is our interpretation of what they said. Everybody stopped doing semaglutide. And that wasn't the case at all. They were actually saying the opposite of, we're not aware of any regulation that says you can do it or can't do it at the moment. So the boards of pharmacy are taking that as, the semaglutide is currently on the drug shortage list. So certain concentrations are on the drug shortage list. Some are commercially available currently. And that's the angle that boards of pharmacy are taking, is it's either all or nothing on the drug shortage list, which is not the intent of the law. The law is, if it appears on the drug shortage list, you are allowed to compound it.
So how do we help the board of pharmacy, and how do we get the compounding pharmacists to do it? Because at the clinician end, where I am, we do encounter problems with the shortages and issues like that, and we work a lot with semaglutide.
Yeah, so for semaglutide in particular, I think it's been cleared up. APC has done a lot of work around that and kind of dissecting the FDA statement for the boards of pharmacy, and so far they've come back and said, okay, we get it now, this makes a little bit more sense. But they continue to also advocate for access to peptides and other things through a 503A compounding facility. So as a physician, of course, when things like this come up, it's one of the best tools that compounders have in their back pocket is letting the regulators hear from you. you make the most impact. Compounders can say things all day long. It will make an impact when it comes from a physician. So about access to medication, regulatory action around it, things like that, they need to hear from you.
But sometimes physicians are concerned about trying to rock the boat or not knowing who to deal with at the compounding level. What do you advise them to do?
So I advise them to get involved in some of these advocacy groups. So
Like what?
Like APC is a great one. I think AFRM is starting to kind of formulate a little bit around that. So certainly reaching out to these groups can help you navigate that and understand the pathway that would probably make the most impact. And then partnering with your compounding facility as well is really important because they have strong quality systems. They have regulatory advocates as well, and they're a big partner in this too. And they know typically the pathway that will be best.
That sounds great in theory, but I have to tell you something. Like from where we sit, it's like we don't use one compounding pharmacy for all the peptides. Let's say. Depending on who has them. I mean, there was one compounding pharmacy that started with one peptide, then they moved on to others. So we don't really know who, to like one compounding pharmacy to affiliate with. So how do we decide, do we decide to go with one? Do we decide to go with five? How do we do it? And A4M's that's why we're doing peptides, because we're trying to help doctors find easy ways to get peptides.
Yep, and there are some pharmacies that can fulfill pretty much all of the needs. But it's really up to the clinician. I mean, if you're getting something a lot more frequently from a particular pharmacy, whereas another pharmacy that's lower on their list of things to compound, you may not get it as quickly. So you may have to separate out and do some things a little bit differently. So it really is a case-by-case basis. But there are many pharmacies that do it all. So you can certainly put all your eggs in one basket too.
Right, and then you have to make sure that they can send to your state. That's the other thing, that they have to be registered and certified in different states.
Yeah.
And not all of them are certified in all states, so it becomes a problem too.
Right, and soon enough, no one will be able to send into California. So
California is out there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is now. They don't want anyone shipping into the state
Why?
any compounds.
Do we know?
Their mission is mostly around ensuring that patients are not receiving unapproved drug.
What does that mean?
So when FDA...
Non-FDA approved drug?
Not FDA approved drug, correct. All compounds are not FDA approved.
Exactly.
Any compound is not FDA approved. But that's the verbiage that they're hanging on to allow their agenda to push back on the peptides and things coming into their state.
But there's no reason for it, because peptides are not harmful and they help. So is there any way to help them out?
Yes,
California?
you can absolutely educate their board of pharmacy. I would love for you to reach out to their board of pharmacy and talk with them. They need to hear from clinicians. They need to hear how it impacts your business, how it impacts your patients. You are the one creating the therapy for your patients, not pharmacists, not lawyers. You know what's going to be best for your patient. And some things are out there to obviously protect patients as well, and they should be, but there's going to be, the political aspect needs to be removed.
Welcome to America. Well, A4M is great because A4M is trying to teach about peptides, the use of peptides, the safe use of peptides, and the access to peptides.
Right.
And you're great because you're helping with what the regulatory pieces are. Give me some more pearls on it, please.
So there's just a lot going on right now currently, especially with the peptide, just the peptide community. It's unknown. It's very unknown. There aren't a lot of peptides that are FDA approved currently. There are a lot of, but the FDA is very aware of how important they are, which is, I think, the biggest hurdle of all. So they are on board. They know that it's important. They're creating committees around it. So there's savepeptides.org, which has a great petition that you can fill out to help advocate for that. But FDA is creating a peptide committee. USP is creating a biologics committee to get more monographs out and update very old monographs. So those are really important for clinicians to get involved in so that they can help drive this, and the correct information is getting out there. Regulatory agencies are tired of hearing from compounders. They don't want to hear from them anymore. They think, they're trying to just make money and do the things. They want to hear from you now. It's your turn.
I agree with you, but I think that clinicians have a hard time having time to do it.
Of course.
And we only react when our patients can't get them, we can't get them, the office can't get them.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a way to make it easier for the clinician to have access to it.
Yeah.
So I think that this is really important. I think, I deal with a lot of OBGYNs or, clinicians outside the integrative A4M type of community, and they really don't understand. They don't know that semaglutide or Ozempic is the same thing, and that Ozempic actually happens to be a peptide.
Right.
And that Mounjaro is a peptide. They don't understand these things. It's the same thing with hormones. I see it all the time. So it's a matter of education for a physician from medical school on,
Right.
and there seems to be a block there.
Yeah.
And how do we remove that block?
Well, that's why events like this are so important. This is continuing education for
That's what we're
physicians.
doing.
I just see people's eyes widen every time I speak at one of these, and they just don't know what's going on. They don't know. There's just a lot of unknowns, and this is why this is such a great forum. And like you said, clinicians, they don't have the time. I mean, they're spending their time wisely at places like this, continuing to learn, but they don't have the time. So that's why it's great to get involved in organizations such as APC. They have pre-made templates for you. All you do, type in your state, type in your name, Zoom, they send it right to Congress for you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for helping us. We need all the help we can get.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Melissa.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Great to have you.
Thanks.